Hey, what's up guys? So today's video, again, just a quick little video, more parts for the HELLRAM project truck keep showing up, or project build I should say, because I have a bunch of stuff that I've ordered to basically get the truck ready for that. So I'm just sharing with you guys the stuff that's on order, the stuff that's coming in, and show you why I bought that and what I'm going to use it for. So let me go ahead and show you what just showed up today. Okay, so this is what showed up. Basically, you can see they're 2 gauges and they are AEM. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you why I got these gauges and what exactly they are in a second. Of course, you can see this one says Boost, but I went with the AEM stuff. This stuff is really high quality. I've used it in my other builds in the past, my turbo builds on my car, and this stuff, it's not cheap, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you, this stuff's expensive, but I did get it for cheaper than you would normally pay, and I'll explain that in a second. But these ones, I really like the way they work. They're very accurate, and at the same time too, as far as a lot of people don't think about this when they buy gauges, is you want to be able to dim them correctly. And these ones have a really nice feature where you guys can probably see right there, this little kind of pinhole here. Basically that's a sensor, and it's a light sensor, so it'll actually dim itself accordingly to how much light is either in the cab, or if it's at nighttime it'll go dim. If it's during the daytime it'll go bright. You know, if you have tinted windows and you roll the window down, it'll go bright. So it's really nice that way. These things work really well. And like I said, I had them in my previous vehicle and they worked awesome. Again, the same thing. You can see this one is the sensor there. This is the air-fuel ratio. So basically, these are both second-hand, basically. But this one doesn't look like it's been used. They weren't bought brand new in the package, but this one, the air-fuel ratio, doesn't look like it's been used. It's brand new, but the boost gauge has been. But not only is this a boost gauge, but I'll get into this in a second. Let's start with the air fuel. So the air fuel gauge, this is essential to have so that we don't lean things out, and especially with running a stock motor like this and cast internals and cast piston, we don't want to be second guessing anything, so we want to make sure it has a ton of fuel. So basically this air fuel ratio gauge is going to show me how much fuel we have, and if we start leaning out, then obviously you back out of the pedal so you don't blow up your engine. But it comes with a wideband O2 sensor, and this wideband O2 sensor is a Bosch unit. So like I said, this stuff isn't cheap, but it's high quality stuff. So we got a brand new Bosch wideband. Basically we're going to put that in the exhaust, and the difference between a wideband and a narrow band is wideband will tell you how rich or how lean you're running at all parts of the RPM, whereas if you just tapped into the one for your truck, it really doesn't, it's not as accurate, and it'll only give you readings in a certain part of the throttle basically. So this is the best way to go if you want to be safe and know exactly where your vehicle's running and how the engine's performing. So we're going to install that, and I'll show you guys. The pod hasn't showed up, I'll show you that to you guys in a few days when it finally shows up. And this is the AEM Tru Boost. So this does 2 things. This is a boost gauge. You can see it's got the vacuum line on the back here. But not only that, but it's a boost gauge, and it also controls boost. So we do have a spring on the, there's kind of a boost gate or bypass valve, whatever you want to call it, on the ProCharger kit. And basically it's a vacuum line. It runs to that valve, and if there's too much boost, it opens up and bypasses it. And it also has a spring in there. But this basically gauge will allow you to dial it in, and it'll sit in line with that vacuum line. So if the for any reason, if it's leaking or anything like that, it'll tell me how much boost I'm making. But at the same time too, it can keep that valve closed longer so that we can have, you know, 7 to 8 pounds sooner hopefully, and it'll actually hold. So this thing will self-adjust, and it'll make sure that we're holding whatever I program this to. So basically we're gonna set to 8 pounds. And the solenoid is used, but we're gonna clean it up and use it. So this is the solenoid that I was telling you guys about. Basically it sits in line, so you'll have one line coming in here, the other one off this nipple there. And it'll actually sit in line between that bypass valve, and it'll regulate how much vacuum it sends to it based on how much boost it's reading through this gauge and through here. So it's all electronic, really trick stuff. I might be kind of talking a little too technical for some of you guys, but if you guys want me to explain more stuff on this, I definitely can. But basically I'm kind of configuring everything so that we can run the truck, we can push it, we can run good boosts, hopefully 8 pounds, and we can know if we're safe. We can have a gauge on it to see that we're only making 8 pounds, and it'll actually, I can wire up an alarm or a light or kind of a siren or a buzzer or whatever you want to put if this goes over a certain pound. You can also do the same thing with this, where you can kind of set up alarms and stuff if it goes too lean, where you can hook up an extra auxiliary wire on the back and it'll illuminate a light or whatever you want to do with it. So some pretty cool stuff you can do. Okay, so I'm sure you guys want to know what this added to the build. Like I said, this stuff is not cheap stuff, but that boost controller, the AEM Tru Boost, you guys can Google it or look on eBay. It goes for about 300 bucks with the boost solenoid that you saw there. I got it for about 80. And then the other one, the AEM Wideband, those go for about 160 or so dollars. And I got that one for 80 as well. So combined, I got both gauges for about 160 together, you know, 80 and 80 or 80, 90 roughly. So 160, 170 bucks I spent on those. And I also recouped some money from the gauge that you guys saw in the kit that was included. I had that gauge pod, the one that sat on the top of the steering console, or steering column, and the gauge, the boost gauge that was in that. So I recouped about $50 from that stuff, and that's going towards these gauges. But it's not going to pay for even a portion of it, or I guess it will a portion, but I'm going to get the A-pillar. There's one that Autometer makes, which basically replaces the handle on the A-pillar, and it has positions for 2 gauges, which those 2 gauges are going to go in. So I'll show you all that stuff once it shows up, guys, but I'm just keeping you guys updated on what I got going on, because there's a lot of planning and purchasing and stuff to get all this stuff for the build and get prepared for it. I also ordered some other stuff too, but I'll get into that later. But as always, guys, thanks for watching this quick little video. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. Any comments, questions on any of this stuff, or you guys want me to go over anything, let me know as always. And if you're stopping in for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also that bell notification so it lets you know when the next video comes out. But thanks again, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.